As I'm finishing up my third cup of pumpkin spice coffee, this evening, by the way, not just today, tonight alone, this would be my fifth today. You do realize that was a go-home show. That was the go-home show for WWE Hell in a Cell on Sunday night. Are you excited about Hell in a Cell? Are you excited about WWE? I feel like WWE right now is at a point in which it's been the lowest as far as excitement goes all year. This is absolutely insufferable. Absolutely insufferable fucking garbage. Monday Night Raw is on a level right now in which I would take this show, the way that they presented it tonight, I would take Monday Night Raw, and if I am a government official, I would take this show the way you've seen it tonight, and I would use this 3 hours as a way to torture somebody into revealing specific information that you might need. I would not bestow this fucking punishment upon my worst enemy. That's how fucking terrible this is. And the fact that I have to sit here and watch this shit every single week, continuously feeling like a fucking dummy. Yet I got people on social media just tonight alone. Oh, JD is a basement-dwelling virgin. Oh, JD is nothing but a negative mark. Oh, JD is this. JD is that. Blah, 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 blah. All the shit that I usually hear. Yet these are the same people that defend what we watched tonight. You know, the Universal Championship was held hostage by Brock Lesnar. For 400 and some odd days, I think 500, I don't even know, I lost count. I didn't really give a shit. 500 days plus, whatever. 500 days of Brock Lesnar as the reigning, defending Universal Champion. The title had a mountain of dust this thick. Was not in the spotlight. It was one of those things that was just an afterthought on Monday Night Raw because WWE thought that they were doing a good thing by putting it on the more notable name in Brock Lesnar as if he was bringing some type of prestige to the title. He was doing none of that. He was doing none of that. They made a big deal about Roman Reigns winning the championship. Didn't Roman come out and say that he would defend the title every single week when he won it from Brock Lesnar? So where are you Roman marks now? Am I still wrong in my assessment of Roman Reigns? The Universal Championship was an afterthought on Lesnar, and WWE is making it an afterthought on Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns and the narrative that they pushed for this fucking clown is complete bullshit. Another one of those instances in which I am right and you are most certainly completely wrong. It's all a narrative that they want to spin. It's all bullshit. It's all an initiative. It's all an agenda. Roman is merely the champion because they think that him being the champion, it's going to turn people to just feel the other way. It's some sort of fucking sick, demented disease that these WWE officials and management think that with Roman having the championship, that somehow people are going to look at him in a different light. Meanwhile, the Universal Championship on Roman Reigns is just as bad as it was on Brock Lesnar. The one thing that they're building up here, is not the Hell in a Cell. They're not building up Roman Reigns as the most fightingest Universal Champion of all time. He isn't the workhorse, which is fucking laughable, by the way. Roman Reigns is the workhorse. My fucking Keurig machine is more of a workhorse than fucking Roman Reigns. The fuck are you on? This fucking coffee cup tonight is more of a workhorse than Roman Reigns. Jesus fucking Christ. I don't know how anybody believes this shit. They're not building the Universal Championship up as a prominent priority on this show. They barely even promoted this fucking match. The only thing that they got going on for themselves right now is Roman Shield, because that's realistically what they are, against Braun Strowman's Dogs of War, his pack. Get the fuck out of here, man. Are you fucking serious with this bullshit? Dogs of War? The entire week's build for the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view has been built on the back of the Shield and getting them over and protecting Roman around Rollins and Ambrose. Yet nobody sees this. Nobody cares to mention this. Nobody wants to admit it. I'm the only one out here. As far as I know, there may be a few others sprinkled in and around the community. But the majority of the people watching this show, the Goody Two Shoes podcast that you guys are somehow, unfortunately, listening to on a week-to-week basis, who spew nothing but fucking positive garbage. I don't know what the fuck you could watch on this show that's even positive whatsoever. This show was a complete fucking disaster. And right from the get-go, Dolph Ziggler and Braun Strowman and Drew McIntyre are addressing all the heels in the locker room. Apparently, the baked ziti that Titus O'Neil was making for all of them was not properly seasoned with the correct cheese. You know, to me, when I go to make some sort of pasta dish, I use a plethora of cheeses. Whether it's Asiago, or provolone, or mozzarella, maybe some Parmesan, or maybe all four of them. I don't just use one cheese. Apparently, Titus only used one cheese. Kevin Owens was standing outside, and he was leaning on the apron as if he was like, what the fuck am I doing out here? I want some of Titus's baked ziti. They're in the fucking ring, and the first thing that I see, yet I'm the negative one here. It's okay if you guys want to be treated like a fucking idiot. I don't. And I'm a fucking Italian motherfucker. I'll be using my fucking hands, banging into everything. Kevin Owens on the outside, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't this guy get chokeslammed at SummerSlam on the steel ramp and lose to Braun Strowman in about 90 seconds? Correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't this guy get thrown off a steel cage by Braun Strowman at Extreme Rules, in which I sat front row and seen physically happen about 200 feet away from me? Yet this guy is out there and he's listening to Braun Strowman, and now he is standing up for what Braun Strowman is preaching in the ring. When did this happen? Why is there no explanation? But to you, the fucking plebeian who watches this show, you're just going to bypass it and you're going to sweep it under the rug and say, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Well, guys like me, we're watching this show and that's the first thing that we see. There's no explanation whatsoever as to why Kevin Owens is now backing Braun Strowman in his attempt to take the Universal Championship from Roman Reigns. So all it needed to be done was Braun Strowman turning from a babyface to heel, and now Kevin Owens is just magically on the side of Braun Strowman. No explanation whatsoever. But this is how Monday Night Raw is written. This is how Monday Night Raw goes about its business every week. This show was written in about 20 minutes. I could sit on the fucking toilet after a nice good old chorizo bowl from Chipotle, and I could fucking shit out a better show. I don't believe how anybody could sit here and fucking just take in this shit and not question anything that WWE does. It's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. So the narrative again this week was Shield, 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 Dogs of War, and no Universal Championships, being talked about or, wanting to be won. They briefly mentioned the Universal Championship just to fucking throw it out there because they pretty much have to. But the intent here is not the Universal Championship. The intent is Shield, Braun Strowman and his new pack, and that's it. And then obviously you got the Roman agenda, the Roman initiative being protected. Rollins as the Intercontinental Champion hasn't defended the fucking title since coming out of SummerSlam, which, You just erased everything that you did from February on with the Intercontinental Championship. But nobody seems to question that either. I made a mention of that last week. Nobody seems to fucking mention that either. Another thing that WWE did tonight, we're going towards Hell in a Cell, right? Hell in a Cell, one of my most favorite matches of all time. The Hell in a Cell back in the 90s was one of the most brutal things that we've seen, one of the most highly anticipated things that we waited for on WWE pay-per-view. It ended a feud. You put two guys in a cell and it pretty much killed off whatever they were going through. It was the conclusion of a feud. The Undertaker and Mick Foley is one of the greatest rivalries in the history of this business. And Mick Foley, every single fucking year, like clockwork, comes out and is just relegated to nothing more than a Hell in a Cell spokesman. But Hell in a Cell this year has a different meaning. Hell in a Cell this year has a different feel. What we're doing this year is we're not building Hell in a Cell. We are once again protecting Roman Reigns inside the structure. You see, whatever WWE is doing right now is sinking faster than a fucking dead body thrown into the fucking Hudson River. This shit is absolutely fucking boring. Nobody gives a shit. I can't even imagine how anybody can fucking give a shit about Roman Reigns and Braun Strowman inside a Hell in a Cell after what I have talked about in fucking nauseam all year. We've gotten to this point. Roman is the Universal Champion, and now here we are with the Shield against Braun Strowman and two guys that absolutely make no sense standing next to Braun Strowman, and a fucking group that makes absolutely no sense whatsoever, and a heel turn that makes no sense whatsoever. This is not about the Hell in a Cell. So what does WWE do? To fix all this bullshit that nobody cares about now going into Hell in a Cell, now they're using Mick Foley as a way to pretty much once again protect Roman Reigns inside the structure. I mentioned Foley was nothing more than a Hell in a Cell spokesman. This year he's the special guest referee. Why is that? Why of all the years that you have Hell in a Cell, why out of every single match that you have every year inside Hell in a Cell, Mick Foley was never used as a special guest referee? Why now, all of a sudden in 2018, in this match with Strowman and Reigns for the Universal Championship? You think that's by design? You think that's by fucking accident? That they came across this decision? Oh, Mick Foley. Oh, Hell in a Cell. Oh, he's synonymous with the Hell in a Cell. We'll put him in as the special guest referee. It has absolutely nothing to do with any of that. WWE is using Foley as a fucking puppet to get Roman Reigns over at Hell in a Cell. Because if Foley's there and Foley raises the hand of Roman Reigns, who's gonna boo Mick Foley? But then again, they booed The Rock in 2014. Or well, whatever, 2015. 2015. The Rock raised the hand of Roman Reigns when he won the Royal Rumble. What happened there? That backfired then. And Foley ain't no fucking Dwayne Johnson. This is all a political fucking move, people. This is not to generate excitement. Oh my God, Mick Foley is inside Hell in a Cell again, man. No, it's none of that. This is clearly part of the Roman narrative. I sat there with a blank stare on my face, completely unexcited, when Mick Foley announced himself as the special guest referee. It means nothing to me. It means absolutely zero to me. But it means everything to WWE because they're literally doing everything possible to try and get this man over. And Foley is only there, once again, to be used in the same way that Rollins and Ambrose were used, as fucking shields for Roman Reigns. If anybody expects Braun Strowman to walk out of Hell in a Cell with the Universal Championship, you clearly are watching the wrong fucking program. This is not going to happen. This is complete fucking bullshit. And I don't understand how anybody doesn't see this. That's all I can say on it. That's all I can say on it. The fact that they opened the show with this horrible segment. Horrible segment. It's as if this show was rewritten in the same way as it was last week. I'm not sure if I accidentally hit DVR and play on last week's show. The way that this show was just scripted and formatted. I thought I was watching last week's show. Literally nothing changed. Nothing changed. They started the show the same way as they did last week. We seen 2 matches that we seen last week again this week. This was a go-home show for you. Let that sink in. Other than that on this show, I can't really explain to you anything else. I mean, it's shield, shield, shield. Strowman and his dogs of war. The police are there to try and prevent the Shield from inciting a riot again. It's all the same shit. Mick Foley was there. Triple H was there cutting a promo on The Undertaker. Mick Foley cut a better promo, just like Shawn Michaels did, which makes me wonder about the current state of WWE. Mick Foley, with his fucking Jerry curl, comes out there and cuts a better promo than the entire fucking Raw roster. What does that say about the current product? That you got Foley, Undertaker, Triple H, Shawn Michaels in the most entertaining segments of the fucking night while everybody else is fucking drowning in a sea of misery. Cutting better promos than the guys that are there every single week. Foley hasn't been there in 18 months. Monday Night Raw is completely garbage. I fucking hate this show. I hate this show. The only reason I am doing this review and the only reason why I watch this show on a weekly basis at this point is I still love WWE, but the only reason why I watch Monday Night Raw is because it's my highest viewed video of the fucking week. It's the one video that gets me a lot of traction on the channel on a weekly basis. All I have to do is sit here and rant for an hour about how fucking terrible this show is, and boom! I'm fucking set for the entire week. If I didn't have this channel, if I didn't do what I do for a living here weekly, I would not watch this show. I could afford to miss a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and miss absolutely nothing. That is the sign of a terrible program. And all of a sudden, WWE, I don't believe WWE wants to fucking brag. The E-Network Awards. The E-Network Awards are giving a nomination for Monday Night Raw for being one of the best shows of 2018. Clearly, the Voters Association for the E-Network has not watched one episode of Monday Night Raw. We have gotten through September, or about to get through September, watching this show on a weekly basis through 2018. This is far from being a nomination of best show for 2018. I don't know, man. I really don't know. I'm fucking sick to my stomach over the fact that this show continues to get worse and worse and worse, and nobody seems to fucking care. I feel like I'm the only one voicing my fucking opinion about how miserable this show is, and everybody's just going through the fucking motions. Well, if you don't like it, don't watch it. Maybe they'll do better next week. It's WWE. You shouldn't expect anything good coming out of them this time of the year. Blah, blah, blah. You do realize that they have the most talented fucking group of guys and women in history on this show, on SmackDown, in this company. And they failed to put on compelling television. Each and every single fucking week from here on out, it's making me miss All In more and more. It makes me appreciate NXT on Wednesdays more and more. You gotta be a complete fucking shill if you found anything redeeming about this show tonight. Gonna go over and break this shit down like I can only do because that's what I'm here for. If I enlighten one fucking individual by the end of this 1 hour, my job is done. This show started off with another fucking brawl. Kevin Owens just conveniently sitting at ringside, just listening to Braun Strowman as if he was his best friend. Now all of a sudden he's sticking up for Braun Strowman. I don't believe that. I really, really, really do not understand that whatsoever. That is shitty creative writing. We'll sweep it under the rug. Nobody will fucking notice. Nobody will care. It's like Men in Black with that fucking pen that they hit and then boom, your memory is fucking erased. That's exactly what WWE creative writers do each and every Monday. Yeah, let's hit the pen. They'll forget. I don't forget, motherfucker. That's one thing about me that you will all come to understand. I may be terrible with fucking numbers and dates and such, but when it comes to things I care about, I don't forget. So, this show started off, and the Shield heads to the fucking ring through the crowd, as always. You got Strowman, you got Ziggler, and you got Drew McIntyre in the middle of the ring. Ambrose, Rollins, and Reigns have, I guess, axe handles with no axe. Apparently, that's their weapon of choice. Out of all the weapons that you fucking have to choose from as members of the Shield, you go with axe handles. I don't see how that was intimidating whatsoever against the entire fucking heel locker room on Monday Night Raw. Ambrose is swinging. He strikes first. Then Rollins and Reigns join them as another big brawl comes out. Similar to last week to start the show when they got arrested and they got thrown in the back of a fucking police van. Same shit. Absolutely nothing new. Ambrose pulls out a bag of axe handles, like I said, and the Shield tees off on the superstars that are scattered around the ring. You got the Ascension out there, you got AOP, you got Kevin Owens, you got Jinder Mahal, you got all the fucking catering people out there. McIntyre, Strowman, and Ziggler watch the carnage from the stage, and they retreat while the Shield is beating up all the fucking losers at ringside. You know, typical Monday night, feeding the whole roster to the Shield while everybody is just there pandering to Roman Reigns as always. So that was pretty much it. Absolutely zero excitement starting Monday Night Raw. They started Raw the same way that they started it last week. So we go from what we seen last week right into something we also seen last week as well. The Bella Twins starting the show off. Instead of Brie botching and almost killing herself twice last week, botch mode, we got Nikki Bella now trying to one-up her sister. She's trying to one-up botch mode here on Monday Night Raw. Listen, yeah, I know. Yeah, she's awful, right? I know she's terrible. You even know it. See, Bacardi knows it too. Nikki Bella. I will say this. I never stated Nikki Bella can't wrestle, okay? Nikki Bella is one of those handy females. She's a very serviceable female on Monday Night Raw. She can get the job done. She can wrestle. She can do what she needs to do. But having the Bellas on Monday Night Raw in this push towards evolution is very, very sickening to me. It really is very sickening to me because, to me, the Bellas are everything that embodies the opposite of what the evolution really is. These women were known for killing the division. Their aura and their presence is not what I really look for when I think of revolution or an evolution in the women's movement here in WWE. Yeah, they're there. Yeah, they want to be a part of it. Yeah, they want to have a big role because they're the Bellas. But that doesn't mean that they deserve any credit for what's going on. In fact, they deserve zero. They're reality TV superstars. They may have their own shirts and their own online merchandise and Birdie B, and they got fucking wine and all this other bullshit that they're shoving down your throats as far as the Bella Twins go. But that doesn't mean that I have to fucking appreciate them. They've done nothing for the women's revolution. Absolutely nothing. And then here we are. The only thing I'm thinking about with these women in the ring with the Riot Squad is A, how many times are we going to see an iteration of this match leading to the Super Showdown down in Australia? What is going on as far as the Bellas and Ronda Rousey? Because they are teaming with Ronda Rousey at the Super Showdown. Are we really going to get Nikki Bella versus Ronda Rousey to main event that women's pay-per-view? God, I hope not. All of this is just surrounding my thought, and I pray to God that's not where WWE is going with this. That is a god-awful main event. You're main eventing an Evolution pay-per-view with a Bella twin who has nothing to do with the movement and women's revolution right now in WWE. Nothing. She's nothing but a reality TV superstar who just lucked her way in because she's a Bella. Simple as that. So I'm watching this shit, and it wasn't a bad match. It just makes me wonder how Nikki Bella, who's just getting her feet wet, coming back after like an 8-month absence, and she's on Monday Night Raw beating somebody who is far superior to her in Ruby Riot. Clean. This is the shit that I think about. Yet you're okay with that. So it makes me wonder, it makes me worry even more that Nikki Bella is going to be wrestling Ronda Rousey at Evolution. If she beat Ruby Riot on Monday Night Raw, I would not put it past WWE to actually go through with that fucking idea and plan. That's awful. Absolutely awful. So we get that, and Ruby tries to do that finisher, I think the Riot kick. She tried to go for the Riot kick. Nikki catches a Riot kick and ends up scooping Ruby on her shoulders for the Rack Attack 2.0. I'm sure John Cena is attacking her rack every fucking night, even though they're broken up. Liv runs in. Brie stops her, pulls Liv Morgan out of the ring. Brie drops Liv on the floor. Nikki delivers the Rack Attack 2.0 on Ruby for the pin. Yeah, real believable. She wins. Ronda Rousey, they hype up Ronda Rousey immediately, which is a fucking foreshadowing of what's to come. Ronda and Natalya versus Alexa Bliss and Mickie James. That's coming up. We get Drake Maverick. Drake Maverick backstage with the AOP. AOP. The announcers didn't mention them as being the authors of pain. They're going with AOP now. It looks like the authors of pain have gotten a name change without actually getting a name change. They are now nothing more than an abbreviation. They're nothing but a symbol on Monday Night Raw with Drake Maverick as their new manager. You know, I don't understand why, when it comes to the main roster, WWE feels like they have to change everything that was very successful in NXT. You know, it was WWE that fucked up AOP. They didn't need a name change. They didn't need a new manager. They didn't need new outfits. They didn't need to be feuding with fucking Titus Catering for fucking 2 straight months. This is your fault. The reason why nobody cares as much as they should about AOP is because of WWE Creative. They fucking did everything humanly possible wrong for the AOP. The authors of pain. Looks like they got a name change. They're not none of them. Renee Young, who is now completely replacing Jonathan Coachman on commentary, which I don't really... Listen, I love Renee Young just as much as the next person, but, I mean, hopefully she can gradually get into form here on commentary, because she ain't really wowing anybody on Monday Night Raw behind the microphone. She's better than Coachman, don't get me wrong, but, everybody's making a big deal because she's Renee Young. They want to see Renee Young succeed. That doesn't mean... everybody loves Renee Young, but that doesn't mean she is good at literally everything that they throw at her. She still has a long way to go to be a good color commentator on Monday Night Raw. And that is me being truthful. Okay? I still have a long way to go to being a good play-by-play commentary for House of Glory. No matter how many things, no matter how many good things people say about me and my job there, I still have a long way to go. Every fucking month that I do House of Glory commentary, I'm in the fucking car ride home beating myself up over the shit that I should have did and I didn't. Saying something that I should have, but I didn't. Doing a better job on something that I thought needed to have just a different sound to it or a different feel to it. I beat myself up every time I fucking leave an arena when I do a House of Glory show. I hope Renee Young is doing that to herself. She is great at what she does. That doesn't mean she's great at everything that she puts, her voice to. She's serviceable. But that doesn't mean she's a good color commentator. Not yet. I gave Coachman a chance. Coachman sounded good. He was a breath of fresh air after 2 or 3 weeks. And then he became a corporate fucking cocksucker. And all I heard was blah, 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 sucking Roman Reigns' cock, you know? You pretty much just heard the slurping behind the microphone as he's sucking Samoan dick. That's what that resulted in. I hope Renee Young is going to follow the way of Corey Graves, where she actually gets better. Now, Corey Graves is getting more corporate as the fucking weeks go on, too. Anyway, off track there with the AOP. AOP, they're now known as AOP. They're not really being called the authors of pain by the commentary team on Monday Night Raw. And Drake Maverick, instead of looking like he's going trick-or-treating, that's exactly what he looks like. He looks like he's dressing up for Halloween, and he's going trick-or-treating with his two big brothers, Akam and Razor, dressing up in fucking AOP gear. Or Authors of Pain gear, because that's what their name is. He's an Authors of Pain cosplay, and what Drake Maverick really needs to do is come out dressed as he is on 205 Live. In a nice fancy suit. He's got a microphone in his hand. And he's guiding these two monsters to success. I don't want to see Drake Maverick. I have no interest in seeing Drake Maverick dressed as a fucking Halloween knockoff version of Akam and Razor. Have him be out there in a nice fancy suit. And have him be like a Paul Heyman. Like a Paul Heyman was to Brock Lesnar. Have Drake Maverick be a Paul Heyman to AOP. Even though I thought that Paul Ellering did an exceptional job with AOP, and I would have never gotten rid of Paul Ellering. And I reported on Off the Script that the reason why Paul Ellering wasn't there anymore with AOP is because Vince McMahon thought he was too old. Let me tell you something. Vince McMahon is too old. Just look at this fucking show. Vince McMahon is too old to be running Monday Night Raw. If that isn't apparent to you, I don't know what the fuck is. AOP. They destroyed 2 fucking guys. I don't know where the fuck they got these guys from. Holy shit. These guys were about 4'6". They probably picked them off the fucking, I don't know. Again, I don't know. They probably fucking meandered down some back alley in New Orleans, Louisiana. These guys were fucking probably selling fucking crack cocaine on the corner somewhere. And they were like, hey, you guys want to make some easy money? Hey, we'll throw you a couple of we'll throw you a couple of large. Come out and get yourself, beat up by AOP tonight. And they willingly accepted. Super Collider for the win. I guess they're going with the Super Collider. They're changing literally everything about AOP. The last chapter is not their finishing move anymore. They've been finishing people off with the Super Collider. The Super Collider was done as a setup move. The double powerbomb that they did was done as a setup move, and then that transitioned into the last chapter. But, WWE taking everything from NXT, they got to change it. Kevin Dunn, the fucking beaver himself, fucking bucktooth motherfucker, and that old fuck Vince McMahon, got to literally change everything. They got to put their name on it. They got to put their shit sprinkles on top of it. Because it's not their idea. So they want to make it their own. Fuck Triple H and fuck NXT, and the world goes on. So that's that. Those are my thoughts on Akam, Razor, and Drake Maverick. And does the crowd even know who Drake Maverick is? Half of these fucking people, I'd say 98% of these fucking people don't even watch 205 Live on Tuesday night. How the fuck do they know who Drake Maverick is? You just, all of a sudden, just have Drake Maverick come out there as if people are gonna fucking expect to know who he is. There's no video package. There's no fucking hype. This was not mentioned on 205 Live that Drake Maverick is coming to Monday Night Raw. Nothing was done. It was just done, and that was it. And we're expected to know and care. Nothing was done for anybody to legitimately care about this. And you know I'm right on all accounts. Moving on here. Triple H. I talked about it today in an off-the-script extra video that I uploaded early this morning. And I talked about it on Friday for OTS 238 Part 1. We talked about Shawn Michaels coming out of retirement possibly to wrestle The Undertaker at WrestleMania 35. Taker retired Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania 26. And the rumor going around is that Shawn Michaels is going to come out of retirement and retire The Undertaker in New Jersey. It makes sense. It makes beautiful fucking sense. The Undertaker versus Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania 25 is not only the greatest WrestleMania match of all time, it is probably the greatest WWE match of all time. That is my honest opinion. That is my opinion. You might not agree with that, but that's where I stand on it. I think the WrestleMania 25 match with Taker and Shawn Michaels was much better than WrestleMania 26 because I feel like they tried too hard to duplicate what they did at 25, and they did not come anywhere close. It was some of the same spots over and over again. It didn't have Jim Ross on commentary. They had fucking Michael Cole doing the commentary, which brought the match down several notches, in my honest opinion. Just nothing about that match even came close to 25. But it was the end of Shawn Michaels' career. Shawn Michaels was on Monday Night Raw last week and said that he stayed retired because he respects the business. He wanted to do something that nobody else really does nowadays. Stay retired. He's a man of honor. He's a man of respect. And he stayed retired because he respects, first and foremost, The Undertaker. The Undertaker threw it right back at him. Are you staying retired because you respect me? Or did you stay retired because you are fearful of what is to come? Because you do know that if you come out of retirement, there's only one person that you're going to come for, and that is me. And the only person that Shawn Michaels realistically should come back for is The Undertaker, because The Undertaker took something away from Shawn Michaels that should be near and dear to his heart. Right underneath his fucking kids and his family. That's it. The Undertaker took his career away. So there's only one person, realistically, that Shawn Michaels would come back for, and that is The Undertaker. Plus, The Undertaker has had his goes with Triple H. This is a revolving door. It's about Triple H. It's about Triple H's friends. It's about the legacy that these three men have created in the era in which they became most popular. I love it. It's fucking fantastic. I mentioned this on Off the Script. The storyline did not die. The saga did not die at WrestleMania 26. It remained alive here, and it remained alive in my fucking heart. For 8 years, we were wondering what Shawn Michaels was going to do. And all of a sudden, our fantasies were fulfilled last week. 8 years. Crammed together in one 20-minute segment. That blew everything else away on Monday Night Raw last week. It gave us the answers that we were looking for. It gave us a glimpse into what Shawn Michaels is thinking every time he hears the chant, one more match. We got The Undertaker finally speaking on a retired Shawn Michaels, face to face. It just makes too much sense for it not to happen. I don't want to see Michaels against Ciampa. I don't want to see Michaels against Gargano. I don't want to see Michaels against Styles or Daniel Bryan or Samoa Joe or Ricochet or any of these other guys. Velveteen Dream. None of those guys. There's only one person, and that person is Mark Calloway, The Undertaker. Triple H talks about legends that have been predicting his match with The Undertaker at Super Showdown. Apparently there was an 81% vote from everybody that was polled that they take The Undertaker over Triple H. 81% voted for The Undertaker over Triple H. He says, at this level, those polls and predictions don't bother me, and they don't mean anything to me. Or at least they should. Triple H says The Undertaker was bothered so much when Shawn Michaels came out last week to give his prediction. Triple H doesn't get why Taker was so rattled by Shawn speaking on the match, but there he was, threatening Shawn over his opinion. Triple H says he watched the segment back. He was mad because he thought Taker had lost respect for Shawn and himself. But he rewatched the segment and realized Taker lost respect for Taker. Triple H then went on to say Taker was never the same after his 4 WrestleMania matches with Shawn and Triple H. He says those matches were Taker's last moments of epic greatness, and he blames Triple H and Shawn Michaels for his demise, and he blames Triple H and Shawn Michaels for the streak being broken. The Undertaker was never the same after his matches with Shawn Michaels and Triple H says that The Undertaker will not admit that after those 4 matches, that he was never the same again, and that is why the streak was broken. I love how they weaved the streak into this storyline. And I mentioned it again. I mentioned it on Friday. There was only one match and one man that should have broke that streak, and that man was Shawn Michaels. There was only one night since that night that the streak should have even came close to being broken. If not broken completely. And that was WrestleMania 25. That was it. That one match, if the streak was broken on that night, I would have not complained one fucking iota. Not one. The fact that we got all the way through that and then the streak was broken in the manner in which it was at WrestleMania 30, that shit pissed me the fuck off. Now I look back on it and I'm like, the streak should have never been broken if that was the way they were going to go about it. Triple H says Taker said one thing last week that was true. Now it's personal. Triple H says out of the last bit of respect he has for Taker, he will put him down at the Australian Super Showdown. Very simple statement by Triple H. Nothing over the top. He just reiterated the things that we needed to hear. And he mentioned that he's going to put The Undertaker down. I love the fact, like I said, that they weaved the streak and the streak's demise into this. Triple H is throwing it right back at Taker. And now WWE is announcing Undertaker with a microphone in his hand again for next week. Some people thinking that this is nothing more than a nostalgia trip. And I hate fucking nostalgia. I really do. I hated it with the Hardys. I hated it with the Dudleys. I hate it with everybody that comes back for the sake of nostalgia. To me, this is not nostalgia. To me, this is a chapter that has long waited to be written after 8 years. I'm enjoying every fucking thing so far. This match may be complete garbage on October 6th. But the fact that I know that they have something else planned after October 6th leaves me with some sort of hope. I know for a fact if Shawn Michaels and The Undertaker happens at WrestleMania 35, it's not even going to be close to what they did at WrestleMania 25. But the fact that we will finally get that chapter closed in the most beautiful fucking way, that's all I ask for. Because I know the storytelling, I'm not even talking about the match, the storytelling, the build, and then the guys knowing that they're 10 years older than their last match. They're going to build this through fucking emotion and storytelling. And we're going to be hanging on every single fucking word and every single movement that these guys do if it happens. And I'm hoping that it does. I thought this was great. Raw Tag Team title match, B-Team, blow, blow, blows. Or B-Team, no, no, no. Against Dolph Ziggler and Drew McIntyre. Can I ask a serious, legitimate question? Why are we having the B-Team? Why are we having the B-Team get moves and offense in on Dolph Ziggler and Drew McIntyre? This should have been a fucking squash match. Squash! There was no way the B-Team was going to invoke their rematch clause and win. They ended up losing. In the same manner in which they lost the titles last week. So why wasn't this a squash? These guys will be nowhere near the tag team titles ever again on this show. Nobody takes these guys seriously. So why didn't we get a fucking squash? The last thing we need is for Drew McIntyre and Dolph Ziggler to be embroiled in a feud with the fucking Shield and then sell for Curtis Axel and Bo Dallas. Doesn't really make a lot of sense to me. This match should have been a complete fucking squash. Zigzag and Claymore combination on Bo Dallas for the win, and they retain the tag team championships. After the match, Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins hit the ring, and they attack McIntyre and Ziggler. They send McIntyre out to the floor. They double team Ziggler. Drew pulls Ziggler to safety and avoids the stomp. McIntyre grabs the titles, and they retreat up the ramp as the music of Seth Rollins hits the PA system. Boring. That's all I have. Took me 3 seconds to come up with a fucking word. That's the only thing that popped into my head. Boring. Kevin Owens. Tyler Breeze. Tyler Breeze is one of the best performers in all of WWE. It pains me to see that this guy is being used as nothing but a segue to a Kevin Owens promo. This guy got destroyed. I was actually looking forward to this match. Two former NXT guys. I was actually looking forward to seeing what these guys could do. If WWE only knew what they had in Tyler Breeze. Guy has he has a little bit of everything. He's got a little bit of Mr. Perfect in him. He's got a little bit of old HBK in him. He's got a little bit of old, the model Rick Martel in him. All these things mean winner. Yet this guy's a fucking loser on Monday Night Raw. I don't know why. Kevin Owens and Tyler Breeze. This match didn't even get started. Power bomb on the apron by Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens then takes a microphone and gives me this, listen. I appreciate effort. I really do. But when the effort makes absolutely no fucking sense, it shows me that WWE simply does not fucking care. And they're out to just feed you whatever the fuck they want to feed you, and they don't give a shit if it makes sense or not. And people are this fucking stupid to just take it, accept it, and move on without questioning anything. It's like they go to a restaurant and you order ravioli and out comes a fucking T-bone steak. I didn't order this fucking shit. I want my meatball. I want my cheese-filled ravioli. I want my fucking salad and garlic bread. Take this fucking piece of shit steak and put it in the back somewhere. That's what they're doing to you. Meanwhile, the steak comes out and the waiter says, no, sorry, we can't exchange it. We can't give you what you originally ordered. Then the manager comes out and says, is there an issue here, sir? And there's nothing I can do for you. You either take it or you leave. That's what WWE is doing with you here. Yet you don't care. They got Owens with a microphone, power bombs Breeze on the edge of the apron, and he takes a microphone and says Baron Corbin recognizes his value as the MVP of Raw. The MVP of Raw is my remote control's power button. MVP of Raw, there is no such thing. Owens says he returned to Raw under one condition. This is where WWE fucked up. He got fucking Velveteen Dream going to Evolve and wrestling Austin Theory, and he's doing rounds in Evolve, and he's bringing awareness to NXT, and he's putting over talent that's probably on their way to NXT. This is what Kevin Owens should have been doing. This is what Kevin Owens should have been doing. I don't understand why they didn't go this route with Kevin Owens. If I'm booking this fucking thing, Kevin Owens is in NXT the next week. He shows up on NXT. Meanwhile, this guy sits out 1 week, quits, becomes the most intriguing thing about the show, and then the next week, you're seeing him sit in the ring with Shitty Mahal. I don't know how the fuck you think that's good storytelling. I wish Mahal would fly away on his fucking magic carpet. This fucking goon. Why is he even there? Takes a microphone and says Baron Corbin recognizes his value as MVP. Owens says he returned to Raw under one condition. He's not held accountable for what he does to his opponents. Yeah, and the fans are not held accountable for shitting on your show. His job is now to do what he wants when he wants. He just did that to Tyler Breeze. To that embarrassment, he says. That's a great way to put over one of the best wrestlers in the company. One of your most untapped potentials. One of your most untapped talents, Tyler. Yeah, this is what I did to this embarrassment. The only thing embarrassing is Monday Night Raw. Every fucking Monday night. Helping take out the Shield last week was just doing his job. No, helping take out the Shield last week, last month, last year, doesn't fucking matter. Helping take out the Shield last week was you a part of the narrative and the initiative, and you protecting Roman. That's what you were doing. You weren't doing your job. You were protecting Roman. Because he wanted to do it, and he's tired of the Shield. Owens says he will do what he wants, and no one can do anything about it. But there's one person we can blame, Bobby Lashley. This is where things just became completely idiotic, and I didn't know what the fuck was going on. Yet I'm the one who fucking complains. Owens says Lashley is the sick maniac who intentionally injured Owens' best friend, Sami Zayn. Lashley is why Sami has been on the shelf for months and not at Owens' side where he belongs. Owens says he quit because of Lashley, but Lashley is also the reason why he's back. So let me get this straight. Let me paint a fucking vivid picture for you. Kevin Owens at WrestleMania was in a tag team match with Shane McMahon and Daniel Bryan while he teamed with Sami Zayn. The next night on Raw, Bobby Lashley came out on Monday Night Raw and made his return after 10 years. Okay? You following me? WWE decided to, without any explanation, split up Owens and Zayn as they got fired from SmackDown because they lost at WrestleMania. They show up on Raw because of Stephanie McMahon. They split them up. They put Sami in a worthless feud with Bobby Lashley. And they have Kevin Owens doing God knows what. I don't even remember, so it must not have been important. But Sami Zayn was in a feud with Bobby Lashley, and Kevin Owens was doing absolutely nothing. Yet here we're given the explanation as Lashley is the one to blame for Kevin Owens' failures and shortcomings on Monday Night Raw. Bobby Lashley, who's been back for 4 fucking months. 4 months! You're blaming for all of your fucking failures on Monday Night Raw. How on earth does that make any sense whatsoever? Yet you're okay with that, though, right? That was a good explanation to you, though, right? To the fucking idiot sitting front row, Bobby Lashley, that's a good explanation. To the fucking brilliant human being sitting at home in front of his iPad, fucking falling asleep to this bullshit. It's not really a good explanation now, is it? Fuck out of here. So he's back because of Bobby Lashley, too. Bobby Lashley shouldn't even be on this fucking show. He shouldn't even be employed with the company. Maybe Kevin Owens would have been out the length of time he should have been out. I blame Bobby Lashley for fucking putting me to sleep every week. The guy is awful. I don't even know why the fuck he's back. Probably figured it's an easy payday. I do nothing on this show anyway. I'm terrible at what I do. I got the fucking personality of a fucking doorknob. This is your next feud for Kevin Owens. When are they fighting? On the pre-show for Hell in a Cell? God, I can't fucking wait! I can't wait to tune in at 5 o'clock and watch another 7-hour fucking pay-per-view. Bobby Roode and Chad Gable versus The Ascension. Did I hit DVR by accident? Did I watch last week's show? You do know that none of the announcers on this show mentioned that this was the same match that happened last week. I guess they don't want you to know that. Where's that? I don't have a pen here. There's that pen again. The Men in Black pen. When I look at Bobby Roode, when I look at... You can tell a breakup is imminent already. I mean, this just makes no sense. This is awful. When I look at Bobby Roode on the apron, jumping around like a fucking clown. I mean, he's legitimately jumping around like a fucking 4-year-old on the Atlantic City boardwalk as they're walking by It's Sugar at the Caesars fucking Pier. Oh, Mommy, look at all the candy! Look at the guy dressed up as the M&M guy! You know? This is what Bobby Roode looks like on the fucking apron, teaming with Chad Gable. This makes me depressed. It puts me in a depressive state. Just thinking back to what this guy was 2 years ago, and I always mention it because this is the fucking type of heel he needs to be. He's standing in a fucking $10,000 suit with the NXT Championship around his fucking shoulder, and Roderick Strong's wife is sitting front row, And he's belittling Roderick Strong, taking a fucking tissue out of his fucking jacket and throws it at Roderick Strong. Oh, you're a B-plus player. Hey, wipe the tears off your fucking face. While you go home, I'm the NXT champion. Your wife is in bed with a B-plus player. Hey, honey, why don't you come over here and look at what a real man looks like? What happened to this Bobby Roode? What happened to the Bobby Roode who's gonna fucking put down someone's manhood and sit there and be glorious? You know, Bobby Roode doesn't even deserve that theme song anymore. I'm more worthy of that theme song than Bobby Roode is. I don't know how anybody could look at this guy and be okay with what's going on here. It puts me in a sad state. This is what you've done with one of the best heels that you could possibly have in this company. People are just put in situations to simply fill hours of television with no direction. And I'm not supposed to fucking complain. I can't wait for this breakup to happen. Is Gable even over enough for people to care about a heel turn for Bobby Roode? Probably not. Bobby Roode and Chad Gable win because of nothing Bobby Roode did. Suplexes Victor with a bridge German suplex for a win. Who cares? Ronda Rousey and Natalya versus Mickie James and Alexa Bliss. My goodness. Did you guys see that heart attack by Ronda Rousey? You know, it's one thing about paying homage to the Hart Foundation because of Jim Neidhart, you know, and his passing, which, you know, sucks. But the Revival did it, and people were bitching and moaning about them doing it as a setup move and not a finishing move. Who gives a shit? Who gives a shit? They executed it perfectly. They executed it excellent, like Bret Hart. Here we have Ronda Rousey doing the same fucking thing, and she botches the fucking move as she flies through the air trying to do a clothesline. You know? Tonight's match made me really wonder if Ronda is even ready. She has glimpses of greatness, and then she has just moments of cringe. That moment, and then there was a moment which she was the distance that I'm sitting in front of my microphone to make a fucking tag to Natalya, and Mickie James is there, shoves Natty off the fucking apron. All Ronda had to do was pull out her hand to make a fucking tag. What a terrible poor timing, completely off. You know, everybody's love for Ronda is blinded because she's Ronda Rousey. When someone makes a mistake, I'm going to call them out on it. When someone is bad at what they do, I'm going to call them out on it. This match was awful. This match kept zero attention on my behalf. None. And that's mainly because Alexa Bliss is trash. This match means nothing to me. Absolutely nothing. They're building Alexa Bliss up with this fucking armbar. Yeah, I'm supposed to really be sitting here intrigued. Oh my God, Alexa Bliss is learning MMA holds now. If this match doesn't end the same way it ended at SummerSlam, then WWE is completely embarrassing themselves to the point where Ronda shouldn't even be wrestling. Ronda has zero competition in this division. Zero. I don't give a fuck if Alexa Bliss has Alicia Fox and Mickie James and the spirit of fucking, anybody from fucking Christmas Past to come and just, help her win this match and win the Women's Championship at Hell in a Cell. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Remember that scene? What Lord of the Rings was that? Where Aragorn is summoning all the fucking ghosts to fucking help them in the final war, right? He's got all those fucking ghosts that just come out of nowhere. That's exactly what Alexa Bliss needs to do, and it still won't work against Ronda Rousey. This was awful. Rousey here is dropping Mickie with clotheslines, goes after Bliss. Rousey was telling the story, or they were trying to tell the narrative of Rousey was hurt. That's why she really wasn't on top of her game tonight. What did she get hurt by? Maybe I had my head down in my phone. Maybe I was fucking cleaning a dish in the sink. Maybe I was making my third cup of coffee. What did she get hurt by? An Alexa Bliss kick to the gut? Come on. Mickey drops Rousey with another rib shot. That was the story of the match here. Rousey drops Mickey with the clothesline. Goes after Bliss, sending her off the apron. Rousey backs Mickey into the corner with strikes. Rousey tosses Mickey a few times, sets her up with an armbar. Bliss watches from the floor as Mickey taps out in seconds to the armbar. After the match, Rousey and Natalya stand tall in the ring. Rousey is, I guess, blind as a fucking bat, holding up the title in the middle of the ring. Alexa Bliss basically comes right in front of her. She don't look down. She don't see her. I mean, I know Alexa Bliss is 5 foot something, 5 foot tall, but, you know, I think you would know when someone is about to come up on you and kick you in the fucking ribcage. She just stood there like nothing ever happened. Or nobody was there. So, Alexa gets a cheap shot in, she backs away, blah, blah, blah. This match, to me, is... And it's not even Ronda's fault. It's the fact that WWE is giving me another Alexa Bliss match that I don't care about. How many championship matches has Alexa Bliss been in? And how many Alexa Bliss championship matches have been good? 0. This needs to be the last time Alexa Bliss is in any championship match. She's had her fun in the sun. She's had her moment. She's had her opportunities. She is not good at what she does. Get over yourself. She gives you nothing as far as excitement goes to build a match. She doesn't get you interested in anything she does. All she is a good mouth in more ways than one. Moving on. Elias and Finn Balor. This match came about because of Mick Foley. Apparently Mick Foley is now the special guest referee. I mentioned this already. Elias is playing his guitar. But what's going on with Elias? I mentioned this last week. You know, the guy's got the greatest job on Monday Night Raw. He literally does nothing. He complains about not having chamomile tea. He goes out there and strums the same fucking chords every single week, sits with a spotlight, gets his own introduction, and he doesn't wrestle. Who's better than Elias? Nobody. Mick Foley comes out, interrupts Elias. This is a common theme now. Everybody is interrupting Elias. This is his gimmick. His gimmick is to not wrestle, and his gimmick is to be interrupted every week. 1 week it's Trish Stratus, 1 week it's Alexa Bliss, 1 week it's Mick Foley. When is it going to be The Rock? Let's get it out of the way already, you know? WWE failed to capitalize on Elias. He was incredibly hot at the beginning of the year. Now, I care about him so less compared to what I did in February or WrestleMania season. Guy is completely dead in the water. Formulaic, it's stale, it's boring, uninteresting, and this is WWE's fault. Yet they can spin the narrative, oh, he's going to be a great superstar, he's got a bright future. You missed the boat with this audience. The attention span of this audience is like a fucking goldfish. You don't strike while the iron is hot with these people, these guys will never get over. So Foley is interrupting Elias, goes on about Hell in a Cell, blah, blah, blah. Elias says apparently Stephanie gave Mick Foley the job of special guest referee. And Mick Foley was once the active Raw GM. So for one night only, Stephanie gave him the opportunity to make a match. So he booked Elias versus Finn Balor. Smiley Finn. What's in the easy bake oven this week, Finn Balor? A cupcake? Maybe a cookie or two? How's the Shamrock Shake working out for you? You know, it's October coming up. Shamrock Shake is usually around St. Paddy's Day. Finn Balor beats Elias with a coup de grace. Actually, no, he doesn't. I'm sorry. I got my notes wrong. Elias moves out of the way of the coup de grace, ends up rolling up Elias for the pin. Who cares? What did they fight for? What did they fight over? Is Balor even at the pay-per-view? Does Balor have an active role in something important on Monday Night Raw? No. No. The only thing that Finn Balor is doing is he's a walking fucking Colgate commercial. Whatever toothpaste he's using, sign me up. His teeth look great. Moving on here. Braun Strowman is roaming the backstage area. Apparently he's looking for Roman Reigns. Roman, where are you? He's threatening people in the back. He's threatening Charlie Caruso. Where's Roman? So Braun takes the microphone and says that he's tired of waiting. He calls out Finn Balor. He calls out Roman Reigns, and Roman doesn't show up. He says he knew the Universal Champion was a coward. And he talks about how Reigns will have nowhere to hide inside Hell in a Cell. No one will be able to help Reigns. Ambrose and Rollins won't be able to help them. Or the special guest referee, Mick Foley. He says if Foley gets in his way, he's going to make whatever Foley went through in 1998 look like a paper cut after what he's got in store for him. Yeah, I doubt it. Okay? Foley went off the fucking structure through an announce table, and then he got chokeslammed through the fucking thing, and then he got fucking chokeslammed on thumbtacks. Meanwhile, when he was chokeslammed through the cage, a steel chair hit his fucking face, and a tooth knocked out of his mouth went up his nose. So if Braun Strowman can recreate any of that, then please, by all means, try. You will fail miserably. Something like that, I don't give a fuck who you are. Nothing like that should ever be uttered when you're talking about that match. I'm sorry. And on top of that, Terry Funk was in that match and got chokeslammed out of his fucking shoes. One of my favorite parts of that match. Anyway, Reigns comes out. Strowman is walking up the ramp because Reigns is on top of the ramp holding up the Universal Championship. Strowman just stands there like a dumbass as Roman Reigns comes walking off the table, jumps in the air and delivers a Superman punch. No form of blocking at all by Braun Strowman. No running away or deflecting the fucking move. He just stands there and takes a Superman punch. Then Strowman takes Reigns and he starts throwing him into the fucking LED boards on the stage. Then he knocks the shit off the announce table. And he's getting ready to choke slam or power slam Roman Reigns through the announce table on the stage. Roman fights him off, lifts Strowman up on his shoulders, and jumps off the announce table through the stage, which was clearly padded because it would have made a much louder sound. It sounded like it was just very weak and febile in sound. He launches himself off the table, and Samoan drops Braun Strowman through the stage. And that's the way Monday Night Raw goes off the air. That's a go-home show for you, people. That's a go-home show for you. If these guys do anything close to what should be inside Hell in a Cell, I'd be shocked. If I don't see blood inside Hell in a Cell with this match, then don't come talking to me. Simple. This show was awful. Nothing about this show was redeeming in any sense of the word. Hell in a Cell is a complete fucking waste of time. WWE has too much going on right now for me to care about anything. I wish at this point WWE would get rid of pay-per-views for the remainder of the year until we get to the Royal Rumble. I don't care. I'm merely using this as a way to entertain you and make some money at this point. Because that's all that this is to me right now. This product is fucking terrible. I have zero love for the product right now. I've been a lifelong fan of this fucking show and this fucking company, and this is the shit that they're giving me. If I didn't have this, if I didn't have to rely on this, I would not be watching this shit at all on a Monday night. I would strictly watch NXT. And for the people who are telling me, JD, why don't you substitute Monday Night Raw for New Japan? How many people are going to watch me? 50,000 people are going to watch me here. Meanwhile, 5,000 are going to watch me with New Japan. Yeah, it's something that I should do because it would wash the bad fucking taste out of my mouth from Monday Night Raw. But realistically, it's going to do nothing as far as me growing on this platform. People want Raw. People want WWE. People want to see me complain. And I don't want to complain. I want to genuinely fucking feel excitement when I watch this shit. I don't. This show is god-awful. Hell in a Cell is a waste of time. The Super Show is a waste of time. It's nothing but a glorified house show in front of 80,000 people. Evolution is nothing but a fucking political-driven narrative by WWE. The Shield. Braun Strowman turning heel. None of this makes sense. Kevin Owens coming back after 1 week. Nothing makes sense. Kevin Owens blaming Bobby Lashley for his shortcomings. Nothing makes sense. The fact that I even went an hour don't even make fucking sense. But everything I said here 100% fact, no question. I'm getting the fuck out of here. I've been here way too long. Anyway, hour and 10 minutes. Holy shit. I'm getting the fuck out of here, man. Jesus Christ. I'm sweating so much just by fucking sitting here. I'm going to hop in the shower. I'm going to see you guys tomorrow for SmackDown Live. I got a Black Ops 4 Blackout beta gameplay. My first game. Popped it on. Boom. Victory Royale. What I go through to get this Victory Royale had me doing this. So you guys will see that tomorrow, early in the afternoon. Then we got SmackDown Live tomorrow, which is obviously another waste of time. The main event tomorrow for SmackDown Live, get this, on the go-home show, is Brie Bella versus Maryse. If that doesn't tell you where WWE's mindset is for Hell in a Cell, I don't know what to tell you. I'm getting out of here. Thank you guys so much, and I'll see you all tomorrow for Black Ops 4 Blackout, and then tomorrow night for SmackDown Live. I'll talk to you later.